Hello. Yes, I'm live. Super excited to be here tonight. So, waiting for some people to get on here, but we are broadcasting live. So, get ready to join in because we're going to talk about pink paper power. And what the heck does that mean? What is that going to be? Good job, ladies. We are live. Hopefully you can see us. If you can see us, comment down below. Go ahead and comment in the boxes. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Do you see some action and stuff going on here? Let's see what we've got going on. You should be able to comment down below. I am so new at this. 3, 2, 1. Yay! Thanks, Mimi. I needed that little super good. Awesome. We'll give it a couple of minutes. One of the things that, hi Natalie, I know that you can do up top is there should be a subscribe button. So if you want to click and subscribe that, then anytime I go live, you can just get a little message or notification and you'll know. So super simple and easy, although this whole thing is brand new to me as well. But I wanted to share something tonight, something that has nothing to do with Tracy Papple, Pure Romance. It just has to do with Tracy Papple and who I am and what I do. It has to do with just living this really awesome life, a really good, well-balanced life. One that's the question I often get is, hey, Tracy, how do you get everything done? You're so busy. And no, really, I'm not. I am not busy. I am really well-balanced. And several years ago, I came up with something that just, I don't know, it was just kind of fun. It was different, and I wanted to share it. So if you're on, I just want to comment right now. I want you to tell me, are you balanced? Or do you need a little bit more balance in your life? Tell me, are you balanced or not? Do you get everything you want? Do you feel good every single day? Or maybe the opposite question would be this. Are you stressed? Do you have any stress? If you have stress, you might be lacking balance. Like, yeah, maybe just a little bit. Maybe the balance just isn't there, right? So balance is huge. That's my mission. My mission is to help people gain a more balanced life. And I do that in my company and where I work. I am a $1 million leader. Yeah, I got to plug that really quick because this is kind of fun. Wear a sash, yay, of a fabulous Pure Romance team. And I didn't get there because I just woke up one day and it happened. So we really want to just chat a little bit about that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So people joining us in, they're going to hear us live. This is recorded. You can watch it anytime. So I told you I was going to talk about pink paper, right? Yeah, I have pink paper here, and it's pink because I like pink. You are free to choose any color of paper you want. You don't have to go with pink. But if you really want to try the magic, I'm thinking pink might be good for you. All right, so the question I have is, how do I stay balanced? What do I do? How do I get the things that I want? I live a pretty amazing life, and I absolutely love it. So I know things have to come from the inside out. How many of you have set goals? Comment, I set goals, I set goals. How many of you don't achieve every single goal all the time? Because I know I don't, but I really do achieve a lot of them. Oftentimes, goal setting has a connotation that we aren't even going to achieve it. We just set it. New Year's resolutions, goals, sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. But usually what happens with our goals is that we lose focus. We get pulled in a different direction. Do you ever find yourself saying something like, oh, I should have gone to that meeting. I should have gone to the gym tonight. I should have spent more time with my family. Should. I'm going to tell you what, right now, the word should is not in my vocabulary. If I'm shoulding, then I know I got to stop and figure it out. So if you use the word should a lot, that's a great indication that you're not balanced. So I'm going to give you some quick little fun tips, and I challenge everybody to run with the pink paper. So it's going to be above and beyond goals. It's more. So it's actually 2 pieces of pink paper. So now I just expanded what your homework's going to be. Not 1, but 2, okay? So several years ago, I was doing something where I was just writing some things down, and I thought, I'm not setting goals, but it was just stuff that I wanted. So this is actually where it really started. So what I did is I rolled forward for several years now. I take a piece of pink paper and a Sharpie marker, okay? Not too exciting. This is not an art project. This is not a planning session. This is nothing that is going to take a lot of time except for your thought process. So beginning of the year, somewhere at the beginning of the year, take a piece of paper, take a Sharpie marker. That's it. That's all you need. Write the year on top of it, okay? So this was 2015. You're going to see stuff marked off. So at the beginning of the year, I write down stuff that I want, stuff that money can buy, okay? So this is a big part of it. So I'm going to read you some things on my 2015 list so you can get a feel, because this is really me. This is how I function and I think. It's stuff that I wanted. And usually what it is it's things that are maybe not a top priority in your mind, like you're just going to go out and buy it, even if you can. But you either want to save up, work for it, get it, achieve it, something like that. So on my list for 2015 were a new laptop, white leather couch, a new iPad, Botox, a designer handbag, a new grill. I love to grill my food. Yes. Christian Louboutin shoes, and a trip to New York with my son. Okay. So if you could think of all those things, to some people it might be like, it's easy to do. To others might go, oh my gosh, I'd love to just get one of them, or wherever you are. So make your list. This list, and this is how I fell upon this years ago. I just made this up. I took this list and I taped it with packing tape. Okay, this again is not a designer thing in a frame, on the side of my chest of drawers in my room, on my dresser, because that meant I saw it all the time, every single day, every single night. Now today, you know where it gets taped up? It gets taped up on the back side of my door. When I go to bed at night, I close my door. It is the last thing I see before I close my eyes and fall asleep. It is the first thing I see when I wake up. And there's two pieces of paper there, okay? So one of them is the stuff that I want, and it's yearly stuff. Here's the rules with the stuff list. One, you got to use a Sharpie marker. If you write really tiny, well, you got to write big. You've got to use a colored piece of paper. Pick your favorite color. Pink works for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 things. I'm telling you, your list is somewhere between 6 and 8, maybe a little more, but it's just what fits on the paper. You can't put a massive amount. You don't only want 1 or 2. So the magic behind this is to make it so your mind, reality-wise, can achieve these things, okay? So you're going to make a list. So for the rest of the year, make a list. What's some stuff that you want? And you'll be blown away at how it comes into your world. I've got story after story of how I suddenly got a new Tiffany necklace. How all of a sudden I went on a trip and wasn't even planning it. It just happens. And then you mark it off with a single line. Don't scribble, 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 just a line so you can still see it, okay? So that's part of just stuff that you want. Because when you focus on things that you want, it is amazing how suddenly it'll appear in your life. It will be there. You clear space for it and it just happens. All right, I'm going to talk about the second piece of paper. Okay, there's 2 pieces of paper. So as long as you can do 2 papers, you've got this covered. It's awesome. All right, here's the deal. Second piece of paper has to do with priorities. This is the powerful piece. The first one is kind of powerful, but this is the really powerful piece. In life, if you ever say this, I didn't have time for that. I'm sorry, I just didn't have time. I don't know, I don't have time for that. I want you to change that word to the word priority. We all have time. We all have the same amount of time. And it's not you don't have time, it wasn't your priority. So when you say, hey, I didn't have time to schedule lunch with you, no. Instead, you know what you're going to say? Oh, it wasn't a priority for me to schedule lunch with you. Does that not feel totally different? But then yet at the same time, isn't that real? We all have the same amount of time. It's not time, it's a priority. So how do you go about getting all these things you want and creating them as a priority and keeping them as a priority? But how about this? Being intentional with your priorities. When you are intentional with your priorities and the things you choose to do in life, you will always be balanced. First question we had, how do you stay balanced, right? You have intentions and you have priorities. And you stay true to those priorities. So I'm going to share with you how I do that. And this is not easy. I'm going to tell you right now, this takes a little bit of practice. This takes some discipline. But more than anything, it takes a reminder. That's what this piece of paper is for. This is the second piece of paper that goes on my door. It's the last thing I see when I go to bed at night and close my eyes. It's the first thing I see when I wake up in the morning. And if I ever need to know what my priorities are, I walk in my room, I close the door, and I read my list because it is not hard to do. And for an entire year, when you are seeing this multiple times a day and it is in your face, I promise you, you will either act within your priorities or you're going to change your priorities. It's a way to be genuine and true to yourself and authentic to the people that you are around. So when you are true to those priorities, life is good. And then you get all this stuff on your stuff list, okay? So let's talk about how these priorities work. Now, this is a shorter list. In fact, in 2015, I had 4 priorities. That was it. And these are not just goals. This is where goals are different, okay? So you might think, well, I have all these goals. But sometimes, even when we have goals that are related to maybe health or business, they're in the same category, they can still conflict. They have to be prioritized. One comes before the other. So if you have to make a decision on should I do this or that, it's so easy. It's already done. It's on your priority list. I want to share with you reality here of my priority list so you'll get what I'm saying. So in 2015, my number one priority in my life, not my business, this is my life because I'm staying balanced. My number one priority was something called MDC, $1 Million Club, okay? $1 million, okay? This was to have a $1 million pure romance team, an organizational goal for me. It was a work item, okay? But it was my number one priority. So that meant when I was making a decision with other things in my life and I wanted to say, oh, I don't have time to go to that meeting. I don't have time for that coaching call. I don't have time to book another party. When I say that, I would have to say, oh, it's not my priority. But wait a minute, it is my priority because that was my decision. So then I would say, stop, here we go. This is where my time goes. My time goes with my priorities until you achieve it. Then you get to mark it off the list. You want to know what my second item was on my list? I'm going to tell you. This gets a little bit personal, but here, let's go here. Because this, if you don't know me, how are you going to do this? This is not pretend, okay? It was to get my weight under 139 pounds because I had not done that in like 10 years. It was a big deal to me. And to some might go, oh, well, that's easy. Lose 5, 10 pounds, whatever, it's about 10 pounds. It was my second priority, okay? My third one was to buy a car for my son, to get a car for him. He turned 16 in the fall. And my last priority was to raise my credit score. I'm not a big credit kind of gal. I kind of do the cash flow, and I like to wing it a lot. But I made a decision that that was something I wanted to do. So here's my list of 4 priorities. So let me tell you how this plays out. And I'm going to tell you something else. I'm going to just tell you something that's not on my list, okay? Dating, relationships, men, not on my list. Not a priority. Now, I call myself successfully single, and that worked really well last year. Let me tell you, it worked really, really good. Because when I would have opportunities to go have some fun, so to speak, or to have those things come about, if it conflicted with other stuff I should be doing, I looked at my priority list and said, where am I? It keeps my head on straight. It keeps me in the game. So my number one priority, and I'll tell you, I accomplished all these things last year, without a doubt and without stress, but with focus. That's the difference. $1 Million Club, it happened in December, early December. My weight under 139, that actually happened back in June, but I maintained it and I kept it. Car for my son happened right around his birthday, right in October. Credit score went up actually in September. So these things happened throughout the year, and I finished my priority list. But whenever I was faced, either consciously or even subconsciously, with a conflict in priorities, i.e., I don't have time to go to the gym and work out. Oh no, I made time to go to the gym and work out, and I skipped a social event instead. Make sense? When I had to have a priority of saving the money to pay cash for that car, and to be able to do that as compared to spending it on something else, even, something for myself, no, it was my priority. I knew what to do. And at the end of the day, everything on my stuff list happened. And it happened sometimes when I didn't even know it. I would turn back around and be super excited that my designer handbag was actually a gift. It was a gift from my team. I didn't even have to go get it. My Christian Louboutin shoes, they were also a gift from my daughter and my son. So stuff just happens. You don't always have to make it happen. But here's what I want to talk about. If you don't have a list, how is anybody going to know how to fulfill it, i.e. the universe that's out there? And if you're not a believe in the universe kind of person, you might want to hang up right now, or you might want to go do something else, because that is how I run my world. And it works, and it works really well for me. But you have to have serious focus. So grab a piece of paper. Make it pink if you want. Make it blue, purple, black, I don't care, and grab a Sharpie marker. 2 pieces of paper. Write 2016 on one of them. Put your stuff on that list. What do you want? What would you like to have? What would make you go, yeah, I feel really good. A new this, a new that. I had a car on my sheet the year before. I got a new car. It could be big, it could be small. But it's stuff that you want this year. Second piece of paper. Make it same color so it matches. Make it different so it complements. Do whatever you want with that. Doesn't matter. Sharpie marker. Priorities 2016. What are your top 3 to 5 priorities? And I'm going to limit you at 5. I don't believe that your mind has the capacity to manage more than 5 priorities and take them full force. You might only have 2. You might only have 1. But they are life priorities. This is your life. I want you balanced. Notice I had something that had to do with my finances. I had something to do with my health or my weight. I had something to do with my business, which in turn helped my finances. I had something for somebody else. What are your priorities? Be conscious about them. You guys that are on here watching right now, comment. I want you to comment. Do you set priorities? Just say priorities, yes or no. I mean, do you really create them? Not goals, priorities. Do you stay true to those priorities? Can you do that? This is not easy, but it works. It totally works. And at the end of the day, you turn around and you look at it and you have a good balanced life. Aubrey, I totally believe you do it. You are a good example of that. Lucy, we talked about this. Absolutely. But not hard, you guys. And start with something. Look at it. You look at it every day. And I kid you not, I wake up feeling amazing. And if I don't, I go back to sleep and I wake up again. I go to bed thinking about these things, so it's the last thing that rolls with me. I always stay balanced. And if I'm unbalanced, I get myself right back to where I need to be, and I have a list to follow. It's kind of like my little book, but it's super easy. But when you prioritize, and I'll tell you what, it is crazy hard. The first time you have to toggle between priority number 1 and priority number 2, you're going to realize what I'm talking about. But when you make that decision, you will be totally relieved. Your stress will drop. You will find that you have more time and more energy. You will be able to serve yourself and those around you. If you're not sure of any of these questions, ask the people around you. Ask if you seem chaotic or stressed. Ask if you seem to always be doing something different, changing your mind. Do you seem to have clear priorities? Do you seem to stay really good and focused? And Aubrey, you're totally right. They're yours. It's your decision. You know what? This is my piece of pink paper. This is nobody else's. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. And I'm going to write on here whatever I want, but I stay true to it. And every once in a while, I have to do it a couple of times in January until it really settles and it's absolutely perfect for me and it feels good. Go with what feels good, you guys. If you feel good, that means internally you're working out. But I want you to look at your stuff you want, your priorities in your life. Cover these areas, and we're going to wrap this real quick because I do not want to take too much of your time tonight. I want you to just grab this and run with it. I'm going to give you a little tip and go, okay? Look at your business. Look at your finances. Look at your relationships. Look at something you want to improve in your life. Those are things that can become your priorities. Meaning, if I did this and I accomplished this, here we are at the end of the year, I would be a better person. Because if you're in a better place, isn't everyone around you? Relationships are great. Do this with somebody. I think that's a great tip, Lucy. That's absolutely awesome. I would love to get some feedback on this, you guys. I want to see you do it. And if you need help, let me know. But this is so simple, yet so blinded. And you could watch this, you could start, but then you'd stop. I want you to finish the rest of the year. cover from now until the end of the year and hit these things, get the stuff you want, and then you will be super excited to do it the next year. I've done it before with my kids. I've told them, get a piece of paper, what's the stuff you want this year? Someone's on there, I want to go on a vacation. I want this, I want that, and it will happen. You have the power to have whatever you want, you guys. Power of a pink paper. Power of just a list that you see. Something that is there visually, beginning, end of the day. Something you remember, and something that you have been true about and genuine about and absolutely fully intentional. So intentionally set priorities. That's it. And remember, don't use the word time, use the word priority. For the next 2 days, 48 hours, when you hear another person or you say, I didn't have time, there's not enough time for that, blah, blah, change the language to, it's not my priority. Or, that clearly wasn't your priority. Or, maybe I should make it a priority, i.e. make time for it. It's just the word priority. It'll blow you away. Any questions? You guys have been awesome. Thank you. This was fun. I just felt all weekend that this was something I had to share. And I'm happy to share anything else, anytime. Let me know what you want to hear about. It's just good. And we're going to sign off. 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye. Love and success.